Hello there, kiddos. It's me, your mommy. I promised you that I would create this video of how I'm going to be voting this November in about 9 days now, I think it is. I'm referring to my son Ruben and daughter Daisy when I say kiddo because there's nothing that is more annoying than women that like to be mama hens towards other adults. You know who I'm talking about. Um, Leave that at home with your kids. Anyhow, so this is for my kids because I don't see them all the time. We were separated for different reasons, and you might come to mind. But okay, so let's get through this as quickly as we possibly can. Uh, Lighting seems kind of bad, right? Oh well, that's fine. We'll see how it turns out. Basically, I have a huge window, and we have a bunch of sun. I have a bunch of sun coming in, but okay, so I'm in California, Los Angeles, California. So there's several state measures that I'm going to go through. There's also a county measure that I haven't decided on. Um, it's possible I go with no on that. I don't want to give the government any more money. I guess I should back up and first say that when you give the government money, I've learned that it really stays at the top with administrators. Nothing really ever happens at grassroots level. For grassroots types of results, you have to be the person that's out there. And I don't think that being a protester like we've seen this year is grassroots. I think that that's the opposite of grassroots. I think that when you want to protest something, as is your right per the First Amendment, is you should also have measurable results or measurable system of metrics whereby you have something that you don't stand for and you can gauge along the way your progress in your protest, because all you're doing is you're standing up to something that you think is not right and you have to show for it. Protesting is not encouraging upheaval. That's not what the First Amendment means to conservative people. So that's my next point, is I am conservative. I used to sympathize with liberals, but sympathizing is not a good way to bring up your children. Eventually, is they're going to have sympathy for people because it comes from them, from the goodness of their heart, but not because they're taught to be that way. So if I did feel that way along my uh, young adulthood development, it was more so really because I was still figuring things out, and it seemed right to sympathize and expect that something good would come of it. But what I ended up learning, in fact, was that nothing good came of it. I became a doormat, or there was an attempt on my life to create, to force me into being a doormat and to being some pushover that I was never really. I was just trying to be the person that was centered, neutral, and ultimately wanted to step in to mediate. But this world doesn't work that way. This world works a different way that I learned. Sympathizing with people that are just plain abusive does not work. So don't feel bad if you just think of yourself for the same types of things that you can grant anybody else the ability to do. I think of myself as far as my grooming, my diet, the way I hold myself, where I set my bar. Those are the things that are allowed for other people. And if things go bad for somebody, yes, it's okay to feel, bad for them, but don't let it stop you from your own course. So, and the third thing that I was gonna mention as to how I make my voting decisions is, ooh, lost my track of thought there. I'm gonna have to refresh my memory as I go. I'm sure it'll come to me. So State Measure 14, authorizes bonds continuing stem cell research. No, nope. If we haven't had advancement in stem cell research from the 80s, 90s, when it became, I guess, dominating in the field of science and medicine, we're probably not going to get anywhere. And hey, guess what? What if they're just like these mad scientists are no longer funded? Lo and behold, that's when some breakthrough is going to occur, right? And then guess what? Maybe funds do become available. The answer is no. Besides, there's other controversies about stem cell research. I don't mind science and studying life to understand it better and to educate other people. Oh yeah. So my greatest cause is education and empowerment because they go hand in hand. So I think that when you make decisions for yourself that are going to impact other people too, is you should always have their best interest in mind. And this is what I can do. I may not be empathetic or sympathetic, but I'm definitely not apathetic, right? Like it's not either or on, I could just step outside of the entire scale and say, hey, what I want for you, if that's the same thing that I get from you, I'm perfectly fine. That's what I want for me too. So don't even worry about it. So no. 15, increases funding sources for public schools, community colleges, and local government services by changing tax assessment of commercial and industrial property initiative constitutional amendment. I'm saying no. I'm saying no on that one. I think it has to do with the funding for it, and it has to do with greediness from the public school system, and it has to do with a mismanagement of either general funds or whatever is earmarked for whatever is the public service to render with those funds. I'm not happy with. I know teachers. I know people that go into teaching, and it's kind of more like a safe route. It's kind of something that I think people think, oh, I got this, I'll do it. But it's never. I love children. I want to see more people just be like the old school traditional good-hearted person that loves kids and sincerely wants to educate them and give them that home away from home, and in a lot of cases even a better place to be than at home for for reasons that can always change, but at least at that point they had a safe haven. So no, I don't want to fund teachers or the public school system. They have to learn to live within their budget. So I'm also, as a conservative, very much trying to arrive at an economy that's very sustainable, that's very self-sustainable. It just means no more bubbles, no more bubbles. Don't incentivize home buying. All that's going to create, I mean, if we learned anything from the $8,000 credit from Obama Biden, it's that it created a bubble. So yeah, yeah, don't fall for that, people. We're not living in a world where if everybody, I mean, stop the hand-me-downs and stop abusive people from being incentivized to take advantage of whatever becomes available to them, because it seems like it's easy money. Number 16, allows diversity as a factor in public employment, education, and contracting decisions, legislative to constitutional amendment, permits government decision. I said no on this one, and I can't remember why. Mainly, I said no to all of them, to be quite honest. I don't know. I can't remember what that was. I don't know if it even had anything to do with fiscal responsibility or not, or irresponsibility, I should say. I think more people that use the term fiscal responsibility should have actually always used fiscal irresponsibility. So 17, restores right to vote after completion of prison term legislative constitutional amendment. Heck no. No, I don't want people. There's people that should have been in jail, should have never been able to vote ever, should still not be able to vote, but that just got away with it, that shouldn't be voting. So the people that do get caught, I mean, I guess you can say, no, no. Number 18, amends California Constitution to permit 17-year-olds to vote in primary and special, this is laughable, and special elections if they will turn 18 by the next general election and be otherwise eligible to vote. No. No, Kamala. Okay, I'm not gonna be petty or anything, but no, Senator Harris. People are stupid that are that young. Remember? If anything, it should be increased to 19, and then maybe use the same, measure for 19-year-olds that are gonna turn 20, or however you want to phrase it. But the older, the better. Come on, man. So 19, changes certain property tax rules, legislative constitutional amendment. No, this is fine. This is people that own property have to be in a capacity to own property, not get rich off of people that can barely afford. So it's a balance. You're rich, take advantage that you can even, possibly take a passive loss from some of your investments that can offset whatever passive income you might have in other properties. But if you're not in a position to have property, don't have it. Don't try and get rich off of other people, on other people's backs with owning property. I know it's a strategy, but it has to be a strategy that is not greedy. Like, you can't, don't, for lack of a better way to describe that. I might come back to that. 20, restricts parole for certain offenses currently considered to be nonviolent, authorizes felony sentences for certain offenses currently treated only as misdemeanors. No. Don't be lazy. If people pay you to be a cop and to be somebody's parole, get out there. Talk to the people that, that need this remedial help. And your salary is fine. I'm pretty sure your salary it's better than most people. And we have to have something to show for it, because some people, that's really all they need is a good parole officer, a good, good cops that are ushering them through the process when they were being idiots one day and got into some trouble, committed a crime, and now have to pay the price, and can always be rehabbed if they wanted to. But at least if they had a humane ambient throughout the process, at least you can say, well, if after this process, after treating this person like a human being and not like, some an animal, I can at least say that it's just not going to work for this individual. It's not going to happen. But you try first. You have to try first, and then you get to the point where, okay, this is repeating, etc. But no, people need to have a person in a role of responsibility over them, the authority, the enforcers of the law, to be able to usher them through the rest of their life. And just because they got in trouble one time doesn't mean they're going to get in trouble again. And I definitely don't think that should be the attitude that police enforcement has. I think it should be, well, it's just no. I'll come back to that. 21, expands local government's authority to enact rent control on residential property. Yes. Oh, yes, right, rent control. Yeah, exactly. No, this goes kind of, it goes hand in hand with number, I forget what number it was, 19. Oh, maybe that's, okay, I got them mixed up. Okay, so the other one was homeowners, this one is rent control. Yeah, okay, so then let me explain number 19 then. Well, again, I mean, I just feel like this is, why even have reverse mortgages and whatever other private market financial hybrids we have that they have no traction. Like they're just like some like fabricated mechanism that isn't reflective of actual what's actually happening. It doesn't reflect the true financial position of an economy, to just have these weird financial solutions for seniors if you can just not overtax them. I mean, let them have more benefits by way of tax reductions. So probably have more to say about that one too. So 22, exempts app-based transportation and delivery companies from providing employee benefits to certain drivers. I want to say yes on this one, and I think that what that means is that you can be an independent contractor if you want to be a part of this, whatever the term is for shared economy. What's it called? Shared. I can't stand that I keep doing the quote unquote thing. I'm sorry. Yeah, so it's for this. I forget the term for this new shared economy. I don't have a problem with them being independent contractors. I mean, if that's what's going to make it easier for them to bring in a few more bucks, whether it's supplemental or in some cases even all they can count on, why not? I mean, I don't get it. I mean, they still have other protections, I'm imagining, as an independent contractor. And of course, there's rules that go along with being an independent contractor that, some people might consider it at advantages to them. So I'm fine with saying yes to that one. 23, establishes state requirements for kidney dialysis clinics, requires yes. And what this means that you have to have a doctor. Again, don't be lazy. I mean, only take on the level of work and jobs that you can actually be there to oversee as a doctor. Because, I mean, can you imagine what a technician might have to go through in the event something goes wrong and their education or their ability to solve an emergency and step in is limited? It just creates more, it just creates more harm. Again, with the medical industry, yeah, you have to, they have a lot of student loans, but that should be a whole other state measure. But still, I mean, again, it should be something that you're intrinsically good about, like a altruistic type of a job, not a profiting job. 24, amends consumer privacy loss initiatives. I said no. I didn't really understand that one. I mean, I usually check my credit. I have bad credit anyway, so I don't know. If you want my information, hey, I'm an open book. I'm not a consumer. I don't, whether you know what I like or not, I'm probably gonna be a tightwad. Okay, so 25, referendum on law that replaced Money-Bill with system based on public safety and flight risk. I said no. I think that this one reminded me a little bit of what's going on in New York, Los Angeles, you don't have to copy New York, my friends. We're better than that. We're Angelinos, okay? I don't care what New Yorkers say or think. Jeez, pay your bill. If you don't want to do the time or pay the dime, don't do the crime. Yeah. I thought of that all on my own because I'm cool that way. So I think that does it. As far as like, who are we voting for here? House Assembly, we got two. Okay, I'm not really done with the entire thing. Oh, the most important one. Let's talk about who I'm voting for president. Guess who? Drum roll. Yeah, Trump and Pence. You guessed it. For obvious reasons, I hope. Okay, well, I'm ending my stream now, but if you don't agree with me, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Thank you. See you guys later. Bye. Love you.